Welcome back to another fantasy video. In this one, I'll share my early thoughts ahead of Matchday 5, the quarterfinal of the FIFA Club World Cup. I'll talk about my updated chip strategy, the predicted fixtures for the quarterfinal, and I will also suggest some of the players that we should aim to get into our quarterfinal teams in Matchday 5. So let's have a look. Before we start, let's take a look at the updated rules ahead of Matchday 5. Before the quarterfinals, we can actually make 4 free transfers. I think that if you still haven't played your wildcard, I think that this is the match day to play the chip. I know that it can be beneficial ahead of the semifinals and the final as well, but I think that when we have 5 and 6 transfers in those respective match days, I think that it's enough to field a strong team for the semi-final and the final. So if you still have your wildcard available, I think it makes sense to play it in the quarterfinal, because in the semi-final and the final you will get 5 and 6 free transfers, so this is usually enough. Another change that happened from the group stage to the knockout stages is that the budget has increased from 100 to 105 million. Another change is that we now can possibly have 5 players from the same team. There are some teams that I think that we should target in Matchday 5 in the quarterfinals, so I will talk more about this in a minute. So before taking a look at the predicted fixtures for Matchday 5 and the players we should potentially invest in, I think it makes sense to take a look at the booster strategy as well. So for me, I've used most of my boosters, played the qualification booster in the round of 16. If you still haven't used your qualification booster, I think you should play it ahead of Matchday 5. The other chips, the wildcard, maximum captain and the 12th man, I think that the maximum captain definitely should be saved for the final. At least in the semifinals we have 2 sets of games, so at least you have 2 shots at the captaincy. In the final you will only get this 1 game, so you have to get your captain right at 1 shot. So if you still have your maximum captain, played in the final. If you have those other chips, my first priority would be to play the qualification booster first and save my wildcard for the semifinals. If you still have all of those chips intact, I'm afraid you will not be able to use one of them. The 12th man would be the chip that I just drop. I think that the wildcard can be potentially really valuable, the maximum captain in the final as well, and the qualification booster. I think that this has the potential to be a really powerful chip as well. So let's take a look at the predicted fixtures for Matchday 5. So these are the predicted fixtures for Matchday 5 according to the bookies. The first game, Palmeiras against Chelsea, it's already confirmed. Inter Milan, they are favorites to win against Fluminense, while Man City are huge favorites to win against Al Hilal. So most probably the quarterfinal will be Inter Milan against Man City. On the other side of the draw, PSG are favorites against Inter Miami, while Bayern Munich, they are favorites to win their fixture against Flamengo. So PSG will most probably play against Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal. This is one of the reasons why I will not be that tempted to invest heavily in PSG or Bayern Munich, because they will most probably play against each other in Matchday 5. Real Madrid against Juventus, I think that this is probably the hardest game to call at the moment, but Real Madrid, they are slight favorites against their Italian opponents, so they look set to join PSG and Bayern on this side of the draw in the quarterfinal. Dortmund against Monterrey. Dortmund are huge favorites and will most probably play against Madrid in Matchday 5. So what this essentially means is that in Matchday 5 we will have a lot of strong teams remaining in the FIFA Club World Cup. I think that definitely the easiest game in Matchday 5 will be for Chelsea. They will play against Palmeiras, and when we take a look at the Opta Power Rankings, Palmeiras, they are far behind those other teams left in the competition. So my advice would be to invest in Chelsea players. So let's have a look at potential players from Chelsea. Since you're still here, and if you haven't done so already, please go subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate a like on this video as well if you enjoy the content. But The first Chelsea player on my list at the moment, it's Pedro Neto. He has already scored 3 goals so far in the FIFA Club World Cup, scored in Matchday 4 as well, so I think that he is one of the best Chelsea assets at the moment. Only priced at 6.5, 15% owned. I think that he should be in consideration for your quarterfinal team in the FIFA Club World Cup. The next player on my list is Sanchez. I think that especially if you have another goalkeeper from the other side of the draw, I think that Sanchez at the moment is a no-brainer. My advice would be to have one player from each side of the draw. In theory, this will potentially save you from transferring in and out a goalkeeper all the way until the final. Especially if you have used your wildcard, I think that we should have players from each side of the draw. So Sanchez, priced at 4.3, decent price to get into the Chelsea defense. At the moment he is only selected by 5%. This can potentially rise, but if he goes down a little bit, he might potentially get the scouting bonus as well. If you want more defensive coverage from Chelsea, I think that Cucurella is the best option at the moment. A bit more expensive, 5.8, and selected by 20% of the managers. I know that Reece James did well in Matchday 4 and scored a direct free kick for Chelsea, but when it comes to Reece James and his injury history, I think that he potentially can be benched. I'm not saying that he will definitely be benched for Matchday 5, but knowing Reece James from the Premier League, I know that he cannot play several games over a short amount of time, so he can potentially be rested for Matchday 5 to be ready for the semi-finals. So my pick from the Chelsea defense at the moment would be Cucurella. Other Chelsea options, as mentioned, we can potentially have 5 players from each team, and I think that Chelsea, they are one of the teams that we should invest in. Louis Colwill only priced at 5.3, 3.5% selected, so he can get the scouting bonus if Chelsea keep a clean sheet against Palmeiras. Next on the list is Cole Palmer. He has had a bit of a frustrating tournament so far, but in Matchday 4 he delivered 2 assists and he is on penalties for Chelsea, so he will most probably be in my Matchday 5 team. Last on this list is Tosin, really good value at the moment, 4.9, so the cheapest way into the Chelsea defense. Badiashile, he got injured in Matchday 4. Looks like he had some problems with his hamstring, so pay attention to Maresca's press conference ahead of the game, but I really think that Tosin could be a really good option if Badiashile is injured. Only selected by 3% of the managers, so there will be scouting bonus for Tosin as well. So these are my early thoughts ahead of the quarterfinal. Of course, we should wait a little bit longer with our transfers. If you have any players that gets knocked out of the competition, those players should be priority to sell. But take a look at Chelsea players, have them in mind. I think that they will win the quarterfinal and be ready for Matchday 6 in the semifinals. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions about FIFA Club World Cup Fantasy. Subscribe to the channel if you want more fantasy content all the way until the final. And of course, if you play the Fantasy Premier League as well, subscribe to the channel for tips throughout the 25-26 season as well. Thanks for watching.